Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper Channel. And guys, welcome to another edition of the Hard Truth Show. Guys, I know a lot of people's probably got questions. Where have I been the past 2 weeks? That answer would be I have been sick or either taking care of loved ones that have been sick, or my dad has been in the hospital recently. So there's just been a lot went on. Not to mention, I was at the end of my child support and got hit with a summons to court for next month. So that ought to be exciting. So I'm telling you, it's just been so much craziness going on in my life the past 2 weeks. I can't even catalog it all, but it is so nice to be back in the studio with everybody. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how that the New World Order is very plain to see. Everything from the Queen of England dying in the past week or two to all the stuff that's going on with monetary things, and just there is a plethora to discuss tonight. Shalom everybody. Shabbat shalom. Love everybody coming in the building. Real quickly, guys, before we get going tonight, just first off, want to say, make sure to like, share, subscribe. And if you haven't banged the notification bell, make sure to hit that. If you'd like to financially help support the channel, all the links are in the video description below. Guys, also, if you'd like to reach out to me with questions or suggestion about a video or a particular topic, make sure to hit me up, 7trumpetsprepper@gmail.com. All right. So with that said, let me swap over real quickly. Couple notes here to get started. And I apologize for starting a little early. I still feel sick and I'm just like hot sweat tonight. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the stream tonight so that while I do have the energy, I can go ahead and get through it, and y'all will, and I'm going to feel better hopefully next week coming. All right. So with that said, real quick, guys, for those that are curious to follow the stream, I try to do it 12 Eastern time on new moon days and 8 p.m. Eastern on Sabbaths. But I think I'm going to start doing that at 7 p.m. Eastern time now that we're getting into the winter season and it's getting dark earlier. All right. And right here, if you have not checked out the content over on Odyssey, make sure to check out the streams over on Odyssey. And not only that, all my other former content and everything else that YouTube has also taken away and banned from YouTube, you can go and view that over there. I call that my Hall of Fame content over there. All right, guys. So with that said, let me check out a couple more comments here real quick. Oh, when is the feast day? Yeah, Trumpets is coming up, guys. Feast of Trumpets is coming up. What would be Pagan M Day on the Roman pagan papal calendar. Shout out to y'all from Canada. Much love to everybody. Oh, hey, shout out, Candace. First time, glad to have you in. These are some crazy times we're living in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Some wild, crazy times. Somebody said I've been sick for a month now. All right, listen, let's take a pause real quick. I promise I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get right into it. The content tonight. Guys, I do not know what is going on. I don't know if they poisoned the water. They've sprayed us in the sky. They're doing something with the 5G. I don't know what's up, but I'm telling you, people that are normally healthy people, okay, also people that have not fooled with the pokey, taking the JAB, all these people, all of a sudden, everybody's just sick. I mean, just like dastardly sick. Like, I don't want to be like profane on here, but like, you know how things can exit your body through the top and the bottom? Like, I mean, like dastardly sick. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm in a sweat right now sitting here, and we're in fall. Okay. So I don't know what is up. Okay. But like, I've lost my appetite. It's been one thing after another. So anyway, I don't know what's going on, guys, but I know it is a lot of people that it is affecting right now. All right. So we're going to get right into this, and I got a lot of articles. So I'm going to be doing screen share. So like, I'm going to have to bounce back and forth between comments, but if you want to, if you do a comment through PayPal link below in the video description, I will for sure see it on the stream on my other device. Okay. So with that said, let's get right into it. All right. The first thing that I want to cover is that the White House releases first ever comprehensive framework for responsible development of digital assets. Now, I know some of this is a week or two old. Okay. So just please bear with me, because I haven't had an opportunity to speak with you really on a stream, because like I said, been kind of sick and other things going on. This is important to understand with the New World Order rising up to the point where we can see it in plain sight now. because something that needs to be taken away from this is, in order for the beast system to work, in order for no man to buy nor sell save he that hath the mark, you have got to consolidate man's assets to the point where that Uncle Sam can push the off button on your funds at any given time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. You need to understand this. Okay. Now, this is whitehouse.gov. All right. This is from Babylon Incorporated, straight off the press desk of Babylon Incorporated. All right. And it is not only interesting, this article in particular, but what's so interesting about it is they see what China's doing and they're trying to follow suit right behind that. All right. And China is insanely totalitarianism. I actually took a political test my friend shared to me recently, and he's a libertarian. I'm a libertarian, and our dots were almost exactly the same. And we took that test states apart. My wife took the test, and she was practically right on top of what I had. And it's just interesting to me. I'm not saying that you have to be to be a good believer, you have to be a libertarian. I'm just saying the political views. It was so interesting to me to see that people that think alike like me, that are really close to my circle, we all are leaning about center to center libertarian. And it's so wild because we're living in a time where people's like moving heavily fascist liberal and heavily fascist so-called conservative, but it's something way out there like Nazi 2.0-ish kind of fascist. I don't even really know a right label to put on it, and I don't want to focus my time on politics and arguing with people over politics. What you need to understand, though, is whoever sits in the seat of office, whatever political party, whatever goes on, one thing is for sure, this digital asset development thing is moving forward, okay? And furthermore, let me pop off screen share for just a second. And right here, I got a few funnies for you. I had to chalk a few memes in there. Y'all know I'm getting savage with this stuff. Oh, and real quickly, before I get in those memes, if you've missed any of the content recently, like I said, tonight we're discussing the New World Order in plain sight. Elder William Brown, Bishop Brown, was in the building. Me and him discussed opportunity there he was working on to reach the kingdom. And then the other stream before that, we were talking about in Curious Case of Two New Moon Days, some information out of scripture. Is an interesting study, and I encourage people to check that out. All right. But here's some funnies. And they're not really funny. I say this like satirishly. But I thought this one was really great one because it's like the Orwell's 1984 kind of dub, obey, you know. But it literally, when Biden was doing his little speech, you know, for the battle for the soul of the nation and everything's lit up red, you know, I cannot help but think of Emperor Palpatine. Do it. You know, I mean, like, we all know what's up, homie. Like, don't be feeding us a line, because listen, this is so obvious at this point what's going on. There's a massive restructuring of what is so-called we the people and the United States of America and all that. Listen, Babylon is in full measure. Like, guys, remember I was going to go down and do the Georgia Godstones, and we were all going to pray for the destruction of that. And then like 3 weeks before I went down, and the thing stood for 40 years, it got destroyed. I mean, like, there's a lot of moving and shaking going on in the New World Order right now. There's a lot of plays being made. And I'm telling you, they're not ignorant to what's up. Okay. So point number one that I would like to make to everybody is that the move toward getting digital assets, this is actually point 1 and 2 that I was just covering there with Biden, is that he's going off the rails. That dude is a loose cannon, excuse me, and not to be trusted. And to, you know, I don't want to be that person that's like, well, here's problems and just leave it at that. Here's solutions also. All right. Is parallel society that I've touched on in the past. Is like the other day, guys, I put my deposit down for a Solana smartphone because big tech is already overreaching too far. And if I'm going to do something, I'm going to reach toward blockchain technology where it's for the people, by the people. You know, I love my Apple phone, but it's time to get away from it. And so when the Solana phone becomes available, that's where I plan to move forward to. And it's like, we've got to, with our digital assets, to say, okay, privacy coins, you know, we need to start getting wise about, if you're going to have crypto, having private crypto, Monero, Zcash, Pirate Chain. I mean, there's a lot of things to consider moving forward. You know, if you're wanting to run a parallel society, opposite of, you know, the New World Order, you've got to start thinking these things through, because plays are going to have to start being made. All right. Now, next thing, let me X that one off. And I have this is, as we continue the ride toward the New World Order going full blast, that something we need to be continuously mindful of is that what's going on, like, for example, right now over in Iran, is that with the murders and things like that that's going on, especially that's provoked all these protests, and the one in particular that began it, is, you know, 2nd Ezra chapter 16 says, "Woe to you, Babylon, Asia, woe to you, Egypt and Damascus, put on haircloth, sackcloth, bewail your sons and daughters, because your destruction's not at hand." Fast forward on down into the chapter, it talks about that this is the beginning of sorrows when we see these things take place. We had the Arab Spring, I think it was in 2011 in Egypt. We've had modern day Iraq, which was ancient Babylon, laid waste. Iran is self-destructing. Syria is a dumpster fire. And when we see Damascus, a ruinous heap, we know the burden of Damascus, Isaiah chapter 17, we know we're really looking at some serious trouble, because this is the beginning of sorrows. And it shouldn't be shortly thereafter that we see the 7 trumpets of Revelation taking place. Not to mention another point that I'm going to bring up, but I'm going to save that toward the end of the video and toward the end of the stream tonight, because that's something I'm going to be pointing out too. But there's turmoil that is kicking up in the Middle East right now. Like, it is in key regions that 2nd Ezra chapter 16 covers in great detail, like pinpointing these regions. And Iran is an absolute mess right now. So almost every one of those regions has either been a mess or is a mess and is headed toward a catastrophic fail. Okay. And so the New World Order, I know they're not missing that. Okay. I'm sure they're seeing it. Now, another thing that we should be mindful of, and I'm actually going to do a shout out for our sponsors, because this is actually goes right in line with it, is that, you know, nuclear war is something that people since World War II, you know, have heard talk of, and, you know, all these things, but like to actually see it, to feel it, to embrace it and know that it's a reality. Like, this is as close as it's ever got in my time, my personal opinion. And I really think that before spring, you will see nuclear weapons deployed and used. And right here, you know, this is an article right now about Russia's leader, Putin, talking about that, you know, Ukraine escalations, that it's a possibility that nuclear weapons may be used. And Putin says he's not bluffing. And I really don't think the guy's bluffing. I mean, this guy feels backed in a corner, and he's probably going to go full bore with it if he has to. And not to mention, you know, the New World Order's plans, they're going to probably need this guy out the way, because I think he's become a wild card at this point. And I think he's going to have to end up being disposed of. And I'm going to actually step off of that for just a second. And I tell you what, while we're speaking of nuclear war, I want to send a shout out to our sponsors, to our channel affiliates. If you haven't checked out Mirror Safety, guys, need personal protective equipment for nuclear, biological, chemical, you can check it out. Link in the video description below. It's some premium tech, military grade stuff. They've got it all the way down for infants and toddlers to protect them. Also, you know, with nuclear comes EMPs and stuff like that. If you haven't checked out Faraday Defense, I've done video review of it in the past. The Mylar bags work great for protection as well. Showed that in the video where it couldn't get signal from cell phone or from calls coming in, but they've got multiple different options out there available, and I encourage you to check it out. Guys, the code for Battle Box now is 7 Trumpets 15. I've got to adjust that in the link in the video description below. They just changed it, but it's 7 Trumpets and 15 after it. Okay, 7 Trumpets and then the number 15. So you can get 15% off your first box. So make sure to check that out. If you end up getting Battle Box subscription, make sure to use that code to get 15% off your first box. All right, 2 more is, guys, if you haven't checked out Mining Pi on your phone, it's a great way to use some extra processing power from your phone laying around to mine cryptocurrency on your phone. And I think it's 20, let's see, it's 2024, I think it is, that they're saying the token may be worth about $70 token. We shall see. I'd be content if it was worth just $1 or $2. But anyway, if you want to mine Pi with your phone, links in the video description below. Lastly, guys, if you want to get the cool t-shirts I wear on the show, you can check it out at KingdomMindedCo. It's my wife's t-shirt company. You can check the link out in the video description below. I need to update these pictures. I've had these up here forever. She's got all sorts of stuff in her shop now. Different stuff. The bleach style shirts. I don't know the exact wording for some of it. And there's also a section now, guys, that is dedicated to some of the stuff that I helped design and also wear on the Seven Trumpets Prepper YouTube channel. All right, guys, let me check real quick here. Got a bunch of comments in the comment section tonight. Oh, my goodness, we are blowing it up. Let's back up for just a second here. Let's see. Hey, shalom to everybody coming in. Lots of people coming in. No pokey. That is right. That is right. No pokies, guys. Do not want no pokes. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm telling you what, guys. It is the best, one of the best decisions to not take it. Oh, somebody asked the Solana phone. If you just Google Solana, SOLANA phone, that it'll bring it up, and you can check that out. Definitely, I think going to be a good investment. It's $1,000 phone and it's $100 deposit, but I think it's really worth it. Somebody said Iran is a reported mess. Just saying. Yeah, we will. Yeah, that's another thing too. It's hard to trust the media in any sense anymore. Even when they're telling you the truth, you're like, let's see. Klaus Schwab is evil. Oh yeah, we're going to be covering some of that. Smith said, I love Abby's shirts. Yeah, some people's been buying multiple. I know people's been buying and then returning, buying more, and I appreciate that so much, guys. Yeah, man, there is definitely a lot going on in the world right now. And what's crazy is some of the stuff that I'm discussing is just literally just in the past 2 weeks. And I didn't cover the Queen dying because to me it's just of no interest. All right, now this one, I want to get this out there to take a stab at my haters because I'm not petty. But when I tell people something and I've told them the truth and love, and then they tell me I'm a fool or paranoid or whatever, I have to go back later and right the ship for people that are ignorant or either choose to remain willfully ignorant. I'm not going to be berated over that, and I'm gonna call people on the carpet. So I told everybody it was back stream like number 39, 38, 39 maybe, when I covered Roe versus Wade being overturned, and I said, listen, this is not about doing the right thing, saving babies. This is about no longer being able to say my body, my choice. And that's exactly what's starting to happen here. The Supreme Court upholds New York City's mandate on the pokey for healthcare workers. All right. And right here is another article backing that up from none other than the New York Times. A second swing golf. There you go. That's where it's at right there. Love me some golfing. Are you serious? You've reached your limit on free articles. This is messed up. Okay, guys, listen, if you will take right there, I can't log into it right this second. Okay, but it's the reflection of the same thing I just said. I did not know that. I had this up earlier. That's frustrating. It's NewYorkTimes.com. Supreme Court vaccine mandate, New York healthcare workers. All right, I'll pop off the screen share for a second, explain all this. So what happened was that the healthcare workers, okay, so what happened was the healthcare workers didn't want to take the Pope. On top of it, they were like, okay, we're going to use a religious exemption for this. We don't want to fool with this. Then some people was actually going to use a religious exemption because they were like, hey, this is from aborted stem cell research or something like that. And so the Supreme Court was like, no, I'm not going to deal with that. You know, and there was like that we're not about this. Well, the Supreme Court just decided we don't care about y'all's feelings and we don't care about your religious beliefs. We're going to uphold the mandate. Now, that was in New York, okay, which is a liberal dumpster fire anyway. But what you need to understand is that law, or it wasn't even really a law, but it was upheld, okay? And what did that shake out to? You can't say no more, my body, my choice. It was your body, and they chose for you. And Luke was right. And Luke was right 4 months ago when that happened, whenever the Roe versus Wade thing got overturned. Dude, I called that right then. And people's like, hey, all the hate speech ensued, and I see this in the comment section and other stuff, like that fired up. But where's the haters at now? Where are y'all at now? Because that went right down the line, like I said it would. And this is another thing that just rolls back into my first point tonight about that the New World Order is starting to be visible in plain sight to everybody, is that all things monetary. Yeah, thank you, Cindy. A shout out to Cindy. There is people that's been up in the building that when I said it, I appreciate you. I did. I'm not going to lie to y'all and hear about that stuff. All right. And it was so clear to me. I was like, okay, we've been slaughtering and murdering little innocent children's lives for decades, and all of a sudden the government called a conscience. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, to even think anything like that is so naive. Like, you have to be multiple screws loose in your head to even believe that, to even think to believe that. But anyway, I'm not on here to insult people. All right. I'm just trying to make a point. But the things, when it comes down to monetary things, it's like, okay, now there's going to be people such as myself that for no means will comply to what they said. All right. But they're going to be like, all right, that's fine. Now we're going to cut your wallet off. Okay. And, it's, I don't know, the deal with that to me is, it always starts out, like I've said so many times over the years, and especially said, I think multiple times on the show too, is that there is, Satan's kingdom starts by deception, then coercion, then threatening, then ultimately pain, and then ultimately pain of death. Like, it is a successive chain of events. Somebody asked what the books are behind me. Those ones over there are Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot mystery novels. Then I got mystery stuff behind here, and Sherlock Holmes and things, and all sorts of different, oh my goodness, leatherback books. And then that's just like all my Treasure Island and Moby Dick and all Adventures at Sea books, and just, guys, there's just books galore in here. I mean, the library just goes and goes. Somebody was asking Black's Law's dictionary. No, we're not doing any legal advice in here. I think I should have went to school for be a paralegal instead of doing electrical work. That might have made for an interesting life, especially now. Anyway, back on track. The monetary thing, though, the important thing to understand, guys, is and I didn't really touch back on it tonight, but with AI being a fully autonomous thing, supposedly by 2025, it should help the government rectify, being able to clamp down on people, not being able to buy and sell. They can just cut them loose. Oh, Kenneth. Hey, brother Kenneth, love you, brother. Shout out to you. Known that man for many years. He said it. You called it correctly. I'm just making sure to put it up there for all the haters that said that that wasn't what it was about. It's in the New York Times, which, of course, they want you to drop off your wallet to be able to read it. But anyway, there's the link I put up there a minute ago, so that they can see. And everyone viewing, may Almighty Father, absolutely, yeah. So the next thing that I want to point out is, and actually, did I have that link to that? Yes, I did. Let me see real quick and screen share this. And this is a conversation that we all need to be asking anybody that is just, there's to me, there's three types of people that are dangerous. Okay. They are political zealots. Okay. They are religious zealots. Okay. And then there is science zealots. All right. That's like science says this, science says that. I'm going to follow it. Those three types of people are insanely dangerous. Stay away from them. Okay. But this was an interesting article from the New York Post. I'm surprised that I ain't being told I'm going to get charged to even just click on the link. Man, it's getting crazy out here. You can't pull a news article up anymore. But Trump suggests feds were looking for the Hillary Clinton emails during Mar-a-Lago raid. Let me pause this. I don't want that to be playing in the background. Actually, I'm going to scroll on up. There's garbage on the sideline here. I can't even look at anything anymore. But anyway, this link, guys, the link going to it, Trump pretty much broke down in the article, apparently, that when they showed up at the door, that was what that was all about. Now, when it went down to begin with, and I'm not a Trumper, okay, before everybody starts lighting in on me like I'm defending Trump. What was interesting to me is when Trump got raided was that I was like, well, that was a slap from the political left at the political right. And then when you let the smoke clear and you give enough time on it, like, oh, okay. So what it was really about is that you were worried about Hillary Clinton's emails because, you know, we still haven't seen nothing about Epstein. We still haven't seen Hillary Clinton's emails. We still haven't seen the flight logs to Epstein's Island, but yet we're up in Trump's house worried about emails from Clinton. I'm like, man, cut me some slack. Like, our elections at this point are a farce. There is no party that cares about the people. And ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand we at this point have to self-rescue and trust that Most High is going to carry us through, because our government is not about us. Like, listen, there's all sorts of crazy whack laws out there that you can't harvest your own rainwater, and you can't grow your own food, and you can't have a tiny house, and you can't have off-grid power, and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, I don't give a flip about the laws of the government anymore, the laws of the land. As long as it's not violating Torah, it's good in my book. I'm down for anything, baby. Like, as long as it ain't violating the Torah and it's against the government's laws, I say do it anyway. Okay. I'm just telling you, there you go. As long as, especially if it's not causing any harm to any human being or my fellow man, baby, let the floodgates go. All right. If you're breaking the law of harvesting rainwater, I say set a pool out back and gather it right off the gutter. You can't grow crops in your yard. I say just set the whole front yard out with crops. I mean, like, guys, I am done with this new world order thing. And not to mention the own nothing and be happy thing, which we'll get into later in this. I've got a lot more to discuss before that, but I just have been observing lately in between, especially my sickness. And you know, what's crazy is I went to Hilton Head Island this past week, South Carolina, for vacation, and just got to feeling somewhat decent. And I got out there, and then me, my wife, and my daughter all got sick at some level while we were gone. And so that burned like 2 or 3 days of vacation. I was like, man, just timing is impeccable, you know. But while I was laying around and trying to rest up and get feeling better, you know, you just see a lot of this stuff come across the news on your phone, and it's starting to draw a picture for me that there is an establishment. There is this deep state of wickedness that, you know, some people say it's Freemason, Illuminati, Jesuits, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to label it as wickedness anymore, period. Wicked people. And they run this show. They are the establishment. They make the precedents. They make the laws. And, you know, it's like the Supreme Court and all this going on with it. It wasn't about saving babies' lives. It was to lay the foundation for a new precedent to be set where nobody can say, I ain't taking X, Y, and Z anymore. They don't care. And coroner, I know coroners and the people at funeral homes and bombers and people and stuff are starting to come forward and showing the effects that has happened to people's bodies from said pokey. And it is incredible, the feedback and the pictures that are starting to come out to the public. The great farce from the healthcare system, the lies and everything that's being brought forward. It's all going to come to a head. And I'm telling you, when it does, Rome's going to burn. Like, the people there's going to have to be a massive catastrophic thing happen in America to bring the people down. at some point, because enough people are going to wake up, and there's going to be a mass uprising, and there's going to have to be something to squash it, because people are starting to see so much that's going on, and it's beginning to be obvious even to those that are asleep at the wheel. I'm going to remove this off here for just a second, and see right here. I'm going to read a couple comments, then I got 2 more points to cover here, guys. Let's see. Oh my goodness, there's just comments. It's just going and going tonight. Let's see. The courts are a farce too. Absolutely, the courts are a farce. All presidents are puppets. Absolutely. Let's see. Here. Yeah, a lot of people I see, guys, yins are done with government too. And somebody said both wings are from the same bird. I think that bird described in Second Ezra's describes a miracle whale with the wings of the bird and everything. Trump, Biden, opposite angles of attack from the same bird system. You got it. Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah, Babylon is crumbling before our very eyes right now. But to me, what I'm trying to do is, as it crumbles, pay attention to the way markers. It's just like you're walking through a forest going hunting. You flag it off so that you know your way back out. That's kind of what I'm trying to do right now, is mark off the way markers, because like I've told people, well, this is the agenda at play. And my wife was asking me the other day, she's like, what kind of shirt do you want me to make you next? And I was like, I want one that says I need new conspiracy theories, because all my others, I'm out of them. I'm running out of them. And it's so true, because these things that used to be labeled conspiracy theories, even by people that were completely asleep, are starting to be like, dang, that's exactly what was going on. That is true. Oh, you were right about that. Yeah, you did tell me that was happening. Hey, what do I need to do to prepare now? And the more you consider upon the matter, the biggest ones to me is that America is crumbling from within. Okay. You have the situation going on in the Middle East. You also have the situation where that I actually just learned this today, and I've got to read through the fragmentations, but the Book of the Giants, okay, that was found in Qumran, actually goes into great depth on what Genesis and the Book of Enoch and everything breaks down, that the fallen messengers actually took and corrupted the animal's DNA, like we're making monsters. Like, it legitimately verifies it, apparently. And now this is hearsay for right now, because I can't show you the scripture in front of you, right? The fragmentations, but just bear with me a second. I'm making a point here. Is that as you look at scripture talks about, as of the days of Noah, so shall the son coming of the Son of Man be. Well, in Noah's days, there were monsters. There was humans' DNA was just all jacked up. And let's just be conservative right now and say that at the minimum, 50% of the world's DNA is just absolutely jacked up, right? That's a real good one, Nomadic Rancher, is that the new shirt slogan, conspiracy is now fact. That's really good, man. I love that. But thing is if you look at that as a way marker, it's like, okay, we're moving toward a one world government in some sense. We are moving toward a one world digital monetary means, okay, in some sense. We are seeing the conglomeration of the jacked up DNA, being messed up in humanity. So we're seeing that take place. So you have those things in play. Then we're going to see here in the very near future the trumpets take place. And then on top of that, the next point I would actually like to make on screen tonight, and I've discussed this recently in another live stream, just touched on it briefly, but right here is the river Euphrates drying up. Like, literally, the water is going down so far that it is revealing archaeological sites where that they can actually look at now and see and view. Like, think about that. The water, like, we're not talking about like Lake Mead out here and stuff going on at the Hoover Dam. Like, we're talking about the river Euphrates, the one that the scripture talks about that shall be dried up to make ways for the kings of the east. Like, we are literally watching that take place before our very eyes in the news and YouTube. Any given day, you can pull it up and look at it. And that to me is powerful. That is so powerful, because that's not just something that popped up overnight. That is happening now in past couple years. Yeah. Oh, that right there. Here is the comment of the night. Right here is the comment of the night. No one can even debate that prophecy about the Euphrates. They can't. Guys like, oh yeah, right there, Michael John. Shout out to Michael John, because he got it right there at Layla. Oh man, comments are just coming in so fast. Right there, he said he's putting the own targets on it. Yeah, that's a good one, Kenneth, too. I love that, guys. I love it. And somebody said, where's that at in scripture? That should be in the book of Revelation. Oh my goodness. And like, is it 18th chapter? No, I don't think it's an 18th chapter. All right, I'll tell you what. Hold up. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to find that for you right now, guys. River Euphrates drying up Bible. It's Revelation 16. Sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great Euphrates. The water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east. So I'm sorry, I said 18. 18 should be about the great kings of the earth through the deception of the pharmaceutical drug sorcery. That should be in Revelation 18, which covers that out. But here's what's interesting to me, that right now it's drying up. When the bowl is poured out, it is dried up, right? So we are moving very closely to that. And what's interesting to me is that with everything that's going on in the Middle East, everything that's going on with monetary things, everything going on with manipulation of DNA, everything going on with the river Euphrates, when the trumpets start, okay, you got to understand, and I got one more point to make after this one, guys, tonight. So I bring multiple weeks of conversations back up to on level, is that when all this takes place, do you know that like the scoffers, the mockers, the people that didn't believe, I think the reason that they will want to kill those that love Yah, and don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, I need to strive for righteousness. Day of Atonement's coming up. Oh, I want the Father to forgive me and cleanse me of so many wicked deeds, so much sin out of my life. I want perfection. But thing is that can you just for a moment pause and try to think outside of our own shoes? Is that the reason so many people will hate us and seek our life when this time comes is because you've told these jokers that X, Y, and Z is going to take place. And then X, Y, and Z perfectly take place per the letter of the word, on point, line for line, one thing after another. Dude, these people are going to lose it because they did not serve Yah, and they're going to lose everything, and then they're going to lose their mind, and they're going to lose it on you, most likely, because they have nothing left to lose. And that's why that the people factor, getting away from, the society, out of the cities. Miss y'all, love you guys too. It's good to be back. That is why it is so important we separate ourselves from the wicked, because it's bad enough we got to endure the trumpets, okay? But it's another thing that what's going to go down with the bowls of wrath and everything else. I don't want to be standing in the midst of people when this all goes down. I just I want to exit the scene quietly. And like I said, all you got to do is start adding up for the scoffers is that, okay, as of the days of Noah, people's DNA, River Euphrates, literally drying up. Scripture said it would happen in the last days. Starting to see the signs all around. When a trumpet start, you're going to have that. And I've warned people about that forever. The monetary system that's falling in place, the control measures, mechanisms that's being put in place. It's profound. It is absolutely profound. And I will tell you the last point that I want to bring up tonight. Let me pull it over here. I have a meme for it. I thought it was interesting. A really good one is right here, is the metaverse special, is that, when Klaus Schwab said that you will own nothing and you will be happy, literally the whole metaverse thing and all the stuff that's going on in it, people are getting so disconnected and unhinged from reality as we speak, and not being able to unplug, is that the more and more we move toward the beast system, it's just like Neo and them was having the conversation in the Matrix, is that people will become so immersed with the system that they can't unplug from it, that they will fight to defend it, to keep it. And we're hovering so close to that. Like, if people don't make a conscientious decision to separate from that now, today, we're moving toward the point of no return, that the technology, the control mechanisms, the governance, everything is going to be prison gridded around people, to the point where that if they do wake up, the cost of exiting that system is everything, all the way up to, and if not limited to, their life. Okay. That's how dangerous this is. Because, see, now Klaus Schwab's a douchebag. And I'll be the first to tell you, listen, this is the Hard Truth Show. I don't have a filter on here. All right. I ain't going to curse on here, but I ain't got a filter anymore, folks. So I'm just going to call it how it is. To me, the man's a complete, utter human waste of space. All right. If I just want to just call this stuff shot straight like it is. But what's interesting to me is that there's two paths that diverge here. Okay. It's like Robert Frost said, I was walking in the wood one day when two paths diverged. I took the one less traveled, and it's made all the difference. I'm trying to live, I think the right word is a pauper. It's where that I can put everything I have in a trust to my children, and that I am just a caretaker for the assets and the well-being for their good, right? That way I don't own anything, and I will be happy because I don't owe taxes on it. I don't owe nobody nothing, and my seed after me shall inherit my wealth, therefore making me a happy man, right? But on the side note of that, that's just like with that Solana phone. I will have blockchain technology and the means to communicate, but I won't own a cell phone plan. And, I want to run a parallel society. I want to run a parallel life in this society, where that I don't need the grocery store. I'll grow my own food. I don't need to go to the gas station or buy electricity, because I'll produce my own electricity, and I'll plug up my electric motorcycle, and I'll plug up my electric truck, and I'll drive it. I'm just trying to go down this checklist on everything right now in my life. And I'm like, how do I bring back my personal sovereignty to where Uncle Sam doesn't take my home and my land? How do I still commute? How do I still buy and sell? How do I still eat? How do I still take care of one thing after another, serve y'all, and stay up out of this mess? Like, that is where Luke's mind gravitates every day now. Freaking, it's every day. That's the things that go through my mind, because it's like, I build tiny houses now. And I go to work there, and I'm not interfered on my Sabbaths to keep them. If that ever becomes a problem, I won't freaking build tiny houses anymore. But it's like, I'm just to the point where it's like I'm having to put mechanisms in place for everything to protect myself, my salvation, my personal sovereignty, my assets, my family, my family's DNA. I'm having to literally be mindful for, my daughter is only 8 months old, and I'm having to sit here in the year 2022, about to roll 2023 in the pagan, papal, Gregorian, satanic calendar. But here we are on the seventh moon of the scriptural calendar, and I'm moving up on, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself every day what I need to do to protect my family's health and well-being. That's the world that we live in now. And, when I was a kid in the 80s, I did not think that would be the case, but here we are. Sorry, let's see. I just want to read a couple of these things. Earthquakes popping off left and right. Yeah, guys, there was a massive earthquake in Mexico. It was like, gosh, I don't know if it was 7 or 8. I don't want to lie. It was way up there. Just Google it. Massive Mexico earthquake took place. I mean, there's going to be some massive stuff go on here. Spiritual blindness, strong delusion. Absolutely. Yeah, the purple hair, the pink hair and nose rings. Listen, guys, especially men, poisonous animals in nature always have bright colors on them to warn you to stay away. You see a woman with these crazy hair dyes and tattoos all over, damaged. Stay away from that. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, when these people wake up and see that you've told them and they were already bad before. Oh yeah, they're gonna be really bad people now. Let's see. Now that's interesting there. Michael John, interesting thought. But yeah, live in a different dimension while stuck in this society. Yeah, absolutely. Set apart large communities will be infiltrated and shut down. Yeah, guys, I'm going to tell you, I think that we're at a point that you've got to be able to come together in fellowship, but you've got to be able to operate independently. And this is a personal thought process right now. Feast of Trumpets about to get together with a bunch of other brothers and sisters and fellowship, and I can't wait and looking forward to it. But at the same measure, it's like everyone needs to be very mindful of having them a quiet refuge and place away from society and being in big groups of people. There's always a Judas in every bunch. I mean, there was a Judas in in Messiah's circle. Okay. I mean, I'm just saying, like, so much to consider in the last days. The interesting thing is that we can actually identify at this point with clarity. That's something that when I started this walk in 2009, yeah, I'm like year 12 or 13. Yes, like year 13 walking this out, is that it was like in 2009. When I started walking this out, a lot of these things wasn't able to be a clarity at the time. Now they're moving toward very clear boundaries. You know exactly what you're dealing with. Oh, I seen that. I heard about that recently. Right there, an Amish man is being sued for having his own meat and selling to his people. Yep. It's getting crazy out there. Even Amish are getting persecuted. Always the Judas comment in the stream. But our hope is in the thing is when it comes down to it, my biggest battle right now personally is, I think it's for me, is to hold on to my assets. Because like literally I spoke to the child support people and they didn't even really know what's up. So now at the end of my child support, I'm having to battle them to prove I paid so that I don't continue to get haggled, right? And then Zero electric motorcycle, Kenneth, is the one I'm looking at getting. But like right now for me, it's financial, and it's also protecting myself in the long run against the pokey. Because guys, I ain't taking it. I mean, like, it's so easy for so many people to say, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. But in the past couple of years, it was a great test run to actually test the hearts and minds of people. And like, I'm not a big old dude, like I got muscle, but I'm not like yoked. You know what I'm saying? But I see these guys, they are yoked. They're like twice my height, twice my build, big old knobs on shot, just break a man in half if they wanted to, right? And but I ain't weak on the same measure. But it's like, dang, if I get in a fight with them, I won't pick up a big stick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I don't want to walk out this thing hurt, right? And these people got the face diaper on and they're scared to death. And literally the other day, I didn't know this because I would have went plumb smack off on these people. And I'm to the point where if you're stupid, I don't care what melanin you are. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what your beliefs are. If you're stupid, I'm just going to tell you. And you can just, add the sexist card, racist card, political card, or whatever else for a bonus. These two ladies were in front of me and my wife at H&M the other day. And apparently they were under their breath talking about, they were like, they didn't want to stand in so close to them in line because I guess that, they were paranoid of Rona or whatever. And granted, at the time I was, fine. I didn't feel sick or anything. I was just going on about my business in life at that particular time. But if I'd have heard that, I think I would have just absolutely just went off on those people, because we live in a society at this point where everybody's so paranoid that they are willfully going along with the narratives that is fed to us. And so, like in the past 2 years, if anyone did not fall into that rebellious ledger in my mind, my mental ledger that I've kept, like if you didn't rebel the first time, I actually don't even care if you rebel every time from now on. I needed it on that first hit. Okay. I needed it on that first hit. And so for me, everybody that rebelled the first time through, if they say, hey, I'm not going along with this, they're still good in my book. Everybody else that said, I ain't doing it, and they went along with it the first time through, I don't care if they hold the line all the way to the end from here. It don't matter to me anymore. And that's just how it is for me. And I think that if you go off of that same principle, it is a good safety check. Am I saying it's a perfect principle? No. But I think it is an important safety check moving forward because we're about to enter another phase. And this is the last thing I'm going to point out tonight is with this, you'll own nothing and be happy with it, right? Is that we're entering a new phase where the dynamic is going to be surrender your rights, go to your domicile when we say it, eat what we say, take the pokies what we say, think what we tell you to think, blah, 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 blah. And it is it's going to come to that. And they are not done. Like the first time that went through, let's see, you're one. Oh, I got it. Okay. But yeah, many people outside right now, they're just demonic manifestations and stuff. Yeah. Oh, all sorts of crazy stuff. But, whenever they turn on the 5G and whack out all these people that's got the nanoparticles and everything inside of them, man, oh my goodness. Like Westworld season 4, they had that tower and it was making all these people be controlled and do these crazy things and stuff. And, it's wild to me that it's like there's so much in the media and these shows telling everybody exactly what their agenda is. And very soon when all this goes down, it's going to be a wild ride. And furthermore, they're probably going to release some real stuff this next time around too, because there's going to be a lot of people's like, I ain't playing this game again. And then it's going to be some really wild stuff mixed up. It's going to be a mixed bag of tricks probably. But guys, I'm going to tell you, they are well on the march toward the you will own nothing and be happy with it. Like that is an agenda that they have no intention of letting go of. Like all these agendas that's been put in motion, there's no stopping at this point, except for Messiah coming back and putting the kibosh on it. All right. And I mean, that just needs to be understood. But all in all, if you look at the signs that we have in front of us right now, especially that book of Giants, I'm going to have to definitely read that soon, is that if you look at that, where that the mingling and the damaging of DNA, the river Euphrates, the trumpets, 2nd Ezra 16, all these things, like the stuff in the Middle East, all these things are going on. Dude, we are so close to the threshold. It ain't even funny. It's exciting, but it's also at the same time, it's thought-provoking and humbling to know that we are moving into those last echelons of the last days. Okay. So with that said, guys, I hope this stream's been a help to you. I hope it's been a help to catch up the things that, like that I've seen for weeks and wanted to speak on. I know it's a mixed mash of a lot of stuff today. But I hope that something I've said is a help to everybody and a wake up, and also a hard reminder to the haters, scoffers, and non-believers out here that especially mocked me in this channel over the years. Baby, it's coming down the pipe, and it's coming down the pipe, slapping you right in the face as it comes. So, guys, let me queue up here real quickly the outro for the stream, and let's get that loaded up. All right. So, guys, as always, till we see again here, Seven Trumpets Prepper Channel, hope Most High Yah baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends, in Yahushua name.